Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. My name's Dan Catherine. Thanks so much for joining me. And today I want to talk about why you should stop overthinking everything. You know, this is a tough subject for me to talk about because I also overthink. I overthink a lot of things in my life, but especially this content. I've gone back and forth with what I should do and how I should do it and what to do and what brand to do it under, what genres of videos. If you could see my ChatGPT, you would freak out. You could see the boards and the notes. You would be like, oh my goodness. I've done this for years. I've overthought. I planned and planned, and I just was trying to figure it out for myself. I overthought my career. I've overthought business ventures, overthought my business in general. I've overthought what clients to get, what's the branding, what's this, what's that. But it's constant. It's constant. The trick that I have, because I don't know if you can really completely do away with it. And I think there is extreme value in thinking. You have to have some sort of idea of what you're going to do before you do it. Sometimes. It's smart to understand the ins and outs a little bit of the business that you want to start. It's smart to think about what type of content you want to make. However, it is not smart if you've done nothing. If you haven't moved yet, if you haven't made a video, if you've never started a business, if you've never sold anything that you yourself made and tried to give someone for money, then it's not a smart idea. I think that to some extent, you need to have an idea, but then you need to implement. And this is something that I do on, and how I combat overthinking is action. I think that to really combat overthinking, you must take action in between. How about that? Think about it like that. Take action in between your thinking. So think, come up with a plan, do the plan, think some more, try again, keep going, come up with a new plan, keep going, try again, take action, plan, take action, plan, take action. That's how you get to success. Because honestly, the opposite is also negative. No thought at all, and no kind of readjusting. There's no readjustment, which is the readjustment comes from you thinking, but it comes from you first taking action. So you have a plan, we take action for an extended period of time, and we see what works and what doesn't. And then we reconfigure, coming up with a new plan, new thoughts, new thinking, right? And then we adjust to come up with something else that we then do, taking action. And that's how you kind of mold yourself to take the steps to get better and better in anything in life that you do. I think it's good to think. It's bad to overthink without action. Sometimes we can get nervous and we're scared and we're anxious and we want to think about it and make the plans and have the thoughts. And yeah, sometimes I'll tell you what, it is nicer to do something. Even like for me, like you can always tell like in film and production, who's really thought it out, because it's actually pretty calm because they have everything planned out. It's mapped it out. Now, how you deal with certain situations when they go against the plan is another thing entirely. But however, if you do have a plan, it's nice to have a plan, to have an idea, to have a direction. But oftentimes with ourselves, we just need to understand a little bit. You may not need an entire plan. Take this podcast, for instance, take this video, for instance. All that I really needed was the idea. And then, hey, I'm going to go try to talk. So that's great. But I made plans to be here. I knew I wanted to do it. And I said, let's just give this a shot. I had an idea and then I took action. Now, I have also done videos where I have written a script, and that's great. I get a teleprompter out, I read it, it goes very well, and it's pretty short, and they sometimes perform really good. And then I've had other videos where I have done something off the cuff, had no idea what I was doing. The cameras were rolling, everything was ready to go. I was bulk shooting that day. The last video, the 7th video that day, doing vertical videos, but a bunch of them. I was literally thinking while it was recording, and then I just came up with some advice about relationships, and it ended up being my most viral video so far. but I did have a plan. I planned to be there. I planned to bulk shoot. I had some ideas. I had a general idea about what I wanted to do. I had a general plan. I knew a little bit direction of what I wanted to take my personal brand. I wanted to, I knew I wanted to make content. I knew this was the answer, but I also took action. So I think that, we can often overthink and overanalyze, but the way to combat that is just to take some sort of small action on a regular basis, and then you'll be very, very good because you will continue to see what works and what doesn't. You'll continue to think. It's okay. Listen, I'm not saying don't ever think. I can't not think about it. For instance, as you go on, and you've been doing this for whatever you've been doing for a long time, it's smart to look at your business and see what's working and what's not, how to reconfigure. You don't got business? Well, you need to get business, so you need to figure out how to do that. Maybe you need to think and plan of a new target market or new branding or a new offer or a new sales strategy. This is good thought, and you can think about this for quite a bit of time. But what helps you think, what helps you solve the problem that you're trying to solve is also taking action and seeing what works. It's funny. I used to do stand-up comedy. I would write some jokes, write some stories, then I would go perform them, of course, right? And there's a saying of you don't know if it's really funny until you put it in front of somebody. You could think this is really great. This is the funniest joke. This is going to be a big hit. And sometimes, for me, it was kind of I tried to make it seem like a story, but it was very layered with jokes, punchlines, beats, things, the kind of stanzas. This is we're going here to here. And I thought this one's going to kill. This is going to kill. This is going to work. And then you do it in front of people, strangers on stage at night during the week, and you realize no one's laughing. And you're like, I thought that was going to be a big hit. I thought hard about this. This was going to be the joke. And then something funny happens sometimes. They laugh at something that you weren't even sure what they laughed at. What are you laughing at? That happens sometimes quite a bit. I'd be like, what did I miss? You laughed at that? How is that funny? I didn't even see it sometimes. But there's a lot of things to consider. It's not just the line. It's the, delivery, your mannerisms, your face, your voice, your tone, your pitch, your look, the moment in time in that moment, so there's a lot of things. So it's just funny that sometimes, you think this is going to work. And I've thought about it. I've wrote about it. It's going to be great. And then you put it in front of people and you're like, why did that suck? I'm sure you can relate if you make videos online. You're like, this is going to be the video. This video is going to go viral. And then you post it and you hear crickets and you're like, what in the holy shit? This is bullshit. This happens to me quite a bit. I go sometimes all out, big, huge video, great idea, great, execution, all this stuff. Did all the things and nothing happens. And then me and my girlfriend go bowling and I decided to bring my camera and I saw a little trend of someone filming what are you doing with the camera or make it cinematic or whatever. And so I just shot some things in the bowling alley and put it together to a song. And people freaking loved that video. There was no lights. There was no crew. I was hand holding the camera. We were just bowling. I just made it look a little cinematic and some shots and people thought it was beautiful. I love your art, someone says. Can't wait to see more of your art. I'm like, my art? This? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I could watch this all day. This? Not the scripts and the all the things that I've done. I put so much, obviously, look at this. Look at this. What are you talking about? This is other videos I put so much time and effort and thought into. And sometimes they do well and sometimes they don't. That's why I think also, side note, why maybe, screenwriters, why movies and stuff are so bad, because they're stuck in I think it's funny. I got in trouble a lot. I'll tell you what, I used to act. I did the film thing. I directed a few things. I acted quite a bit, small things, things you never hear of, independence. But I did this a lot of my life and I did theater as well. And I got in trouble a lot because I would change a script. I would read it, I would know what their intentions were, and I'd be like, well, that's not funny. And I think that, people should give performers and especially comedians a little bit more credit because we do. I don't do it that much anymore. I don't do it at all anymore, actually. I just do this. So welcome. But comedians do know what works because we had the same experience. We wrote the stuff. We're like, this is great. We do it in front of people. We're like, that sucked. Why? And so you're constantly trying to figure out why. How does this work? How do you make this better? Overthinking it. How do you make this better? And then you try and try and try again. I get up the next time. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try it again. What's working? Why is this working? And then it works. You're like, oh, that's why. I just need to put that here and do that and then have the tone of voice and change. And maybe they didn't understand that part. And boom, 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 pop, pop, beep, shebang, standing ovation. You know what I mean? Like, boom. So I got in trouble for saying things. I got in trouble. I did a play in Dallas. You know, the director lost his mind on me because it was a comedy and it wasn't funny. The bits that I had, I was like, I know what you meant. I got it. I got something in my pocket. I'm going to throw it out there. And the actors were serious. I'm not going to go with you. I'm like, stop being such a bitch. Like, go with it. Like this is comedy. So, but that's how I was, kind of trained. And a lot of people who do like improv and stuff, they understand. But then these serious, we're going to be serious actors and that's not your line. And they just kind of ruin the mood. Like, what? God damn, what a buzzkill. Like, can you just say your line. It works. That's what I told him. I said, say your line. It works. Just say your line. Oh, that's not your line, though. Say your line. It works. And I got reamed out. In front of everybody. He lost. What right do you have to change a script? Well, I'm funnier than you. I'm sorry. But unless you... Hey, listen, that's why I'm not doing it anymore because they're a bunch of bitches. But listen, if you could do it, you'd be doing it. If you could do it, you'd be doing it. But you hired a comedian. You hired someone who's funny, someone who can perform. And I'm telling you, I know what it's like to write the script, to write the joke, and think this is going to be a hit. I'm telling you, it's not going to hit. I didn't say it like that, but, me and directors don't get along that well. Directors often don't get along with directors sometimes. I learned that the hard way. But, I was a 19-year-old director, 20-year-old director doing, doing marketing videos and ads for national companies at the time and doing my own films and stuff like that. So from my early 20s, I was also doing stand-up since the time I was 18. I was acting since the time I was 15. I had a lot of experience doing a lot of things. I'm making videos since I was, 7 years old. I've been doing this in this space for a long time. And, I'm now like at that point, I don't know how old I was, late 20s, early 30s, whatever I was. You come at me for different stuff and you're like, you hired the comedian. You hired someone to be funny. I've had that happen quite a bit in other situations too. When I see writers and, I've seen scripts and I'm trying to help. Maybe I went too far, but I know. So I think I know what's going to work and what's not. And any comedian would. Most of them would have an idea because you have the experience. That's the point. If you should take advice from somebody who has experience of not just thinking, not just writing, but doing it. It's like taking advice from a fat, trainer. It's like, you're not doing what you think you know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why am I going to take advice from you? Like, I don't understand. Why would you take advice on how to buy a house from a homeless person? I don't understand. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, why would you take advice from someone how to start a business who's never started a business before? I don't understand what you're doing. Like, you know what I mean? So there's some basics there. And so, but the theater and the thespians, and I was one of them, they're not easy to, they're very sensitive sometimes. And I mean, I get it. I'm not bashing them. I was similar. When it's your work and it's your baby, it's really hard to let that go. But if you don't really know it's going to work because you haven't taken the action yet, even if you've done it for a long time, I've done this for a long time, making videos a long time, but I still make a video and it still sucks. I overthink and I sometimes don't take the action. The end of that story was, on show night, guess who did the bit? Me. I didn't do it at first. I didn't do it. I didn't do the bit, the ad-libs parts that I thought, like, if you just said this joke would hit. I knew it. I knew it would. But I did it the way they wanted to do it. Dead. It was dead every night. Every night. Dead. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking do it. I don't care. What are they going to do? Fire me? They can't hire someone else. This is show night. So I did the joke. I did the bit. I did the ad-lib. Guess what? The crowd went wild. They laughed their asses off. And I was like, I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just trying to say that if you hire a professional to do a job, particularly talking to you screenwriters and stuff like that, you've never done the stage, you've never gone up and done the bit, maybe you should trust someone who has. That's the same for everything. Maybe if you've never done the thing you want to do, you've done part of it, you want to start that business and you think that you have everything in mind. Like, I went to Harvard Business School, I took the courses, I know all the stuff, I've read all the books. Like, you're wrong. Perhaps you should take a little bit of a beat and take some advice from people who actually have a business. Perhaps you're not fully right. And the truth is that people like myself in any kind of situation like that, they learned the hard way because we were like you. Do you think it's easy getting up there and hearing crickets and bombing on stage? No, that's my ego crying, okay? That's what that is. You think it's easy closing your doors on a business because it didn't work? No, it is not easy to lose everything. It sucks a lot. I was like you. I was also a bit arrogant and thought that I knew everything. So when I see people in any kind of circumstance who overthink and then have overconfidence and have never actually done it, and they're kind of a dick about it, I'm like, I want to help you. And I want you to stop being a fucking bitch. Okay? I'm going to slap you. I want to physically hit you in the face because it's going to feel a lot worse if you continue down this path and you experience kind of failure that I have and many others have too. So learn from people who have done it. And I'm telling you, I've done it. I've overthought. I continue to do it. I did it last week. I did it today. I did it yesterday. I do it often. I think about stuff a lot and try to plan, try to map. As part of this video right here, I'm trying to figure out my new content strategies to make this work for my business and myself, to build my personal brand. I've thought about this quite a bit. Man, I'm doing this all the time. But you know what I'm also doing? I'm doing this. I'm taking action because you learn a lot to help you think when you take action, when you see the results, when you try, when you do the things. You want to go work out more. Great. But then you learn and you adapt to what's working and what's not. Because you're taking action. You're not just thinking about going to the gym. You're actually going to the gym. I got to think about my food and stuff. I got to think about my workouts and stuff like that. Well, are you going to the gym? Are you trying to eat better? Are you actually doing it? Because if you're not, then nothing's happening. Then that thinking's going to waste. You have to take action in the middle of your thinking. Think, plan, take action. From that, see what happens. Plan, think, do it again. I'm talking about daily. Listen, I'm talking about like daily too. Do the best you can to figure it out. Let's go again. Let's go again. Because repetition makes you better. And then you can start thinking about different things. But it's essential to combat thinking you got that right joke, it's going to hit, it's going out and doing it. To thinking you got that right business, it's going to work, it's going out and trying it. To thinking you got the right branding, the right videos for the right profile, it's going to work, go out there and try it. And continue trying it, and continue thinking and reworking until it works. And then keep going and figure out how to then think about how do you keep going. New problems. You want better problems to think about. The only way to do that is to do. Hopefully this helps you. My name is Dan Catherine. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you on the next one.